Welcome back, everyone, to another episode, the Wake Up Call, Season 1. All right. I hope you guys are having fun on these episodes. I just mentioned to Tawanda offline that, I'm having a lot of fun doing this. And I want to say, make sure you find something in your life that, brings you joy, brings you happiness. You enjoy doing it because we're only here for a certain amount of time in this life. So why would you not want to find things that uplift you, make you happy, make you joyful? You got to find those things in this life. And sometimes it's not always about the money, right? You can't just do something just because of the money, but find things that fuel your spirit, your soul. And this is something that really just refreshes my spirit, fuels my soul. All right. So you got to find those things in life and you'll feel 10 times better. All right. So welcome to episode 3. Again, grab your pens, grab your notepad, stay locked in. You might want to get some popcorn because this episode is going to be filled with a bunch of
Get some popcorn.
Yeah, get some popcorn.
Get some popcorn.
I am of the show. My name is Marcel Hyde, aka Marcel Mindset, along with
Tawanda. Welcome everybody. Excited to be here. This is awesome. Like you say, man, I'm enjoying this as well. I mean, these are great conversations, and just sitting here and just having these conversations with you, man, is awesome. I love it. And I agree with you when you say, find something in life that you're really passionate about, that you're really excited about. And they say sometimes the way to get there is to think about something that even when you're not getting paid, you still do it, right? Yeah. That's actually one of the signs to actually know that you really enjoy doing that stuff, right? I mean, you can always find ways to monetize whatever you love and your passion for sure. But I think the path to get there is to really find something that energizes you, that you can't wait to do it. Like even when you are, you're waking up, you're so excited that this is what I'm going to be doing today. And so I think it was Steve Jobs, he said, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. And if you haven't found it yet, don't settle. Keep looking. Yeah, I think he said that in one of his speeches a while back before he died. So great man, great quote, and definitely something that I've always kept in mind for me to always find work that I enjoy, that I love to do.
Great, guys. Tawanda's just dropping gems. In the intro, you got no, this is talking, man. We just asked you to introduce your name. Tawanda's dropping all these gems. You guys couldn't even take a sip of your drink. Wow, that's amazing. I don't know about you guys, but wow, I'm learning so much. And I'm actually honored to have Tawanda on the platform. I'm humbled that, you agreed to even do this with me and come on and share some value because I study you. And I want to say that first off, if you're coming to the show, I want you guys to take this as a lesson in school. So sit down. I actually sit down and I watch these episodes 3 times. And I not only listen to myself, how I can improve, how I can get better, but I'm also listening to Tawanda. I'm listening to what Tawanda's saying because what I'm doing is I'm listening to what you're saying, Tawanda, and then I'm applying it. And that's the key, is the application. You want to take what is being said here and apply it. It's one thing to listen and get all excited and pumped up and feel so good. But if you're doing no application, it's doing nothing for you.
Yeah. I think application is important.
Yeah. And, on the last episode, formal education will make you a living.
Yeah.
Self-education will make you a fortune. So I want you to expand on that a little bit, number 1. And number 2 is we're going to start off by talking about, self-education versus school education. Yeah. And that's a huge topic. That's a topic that's trending all over social media, and when I say self-education, that might be reading books. And then when I say school education, that might be getting your master's, PhD, stuff like that. So talk to me about that.
That was actually a quote by Jim Rohn, and great motivational speaker. And he said, formal education, going to school, you get your diploma, you get your degree, your master's, your PhD, all those things. Formal education will make you a living.
Yeah.
Self-education will make you a fortune. And I think the distinction here is you get a job, you get your 9 to 5 for sure. You can pay the bills, pay the mortgage, support yourself and your family. Great. But if you look at the people that are very wealthy, people that have built empires,
Right.
There's a common thread with most of those people. I'm not saying you can't get wealthy from your job. You can do that for sure. But a lot of people, it has been through self-education.
Yeah.
People that don't have the degrees, the PhDs,
Yeah.
and all this other stuff, but actually have gone out to actually create great companies, great entrepreneurs, and have done amazing. So I think that's very true because even for me, when I look at my own life, a lot of the things that I've done in my own life were really self-taught.
Right.
Was actually just reading books and studying people who are successful and learning from successful entrepreneurs and great leaders, study what they do, read books, application of the things that you're learning and see, how it works. So that to me, I think is very powerful because self-education is so important, especially nowadays with just how technology is advancing and just how things are changing so quickly. I think you need to be able to really, you see, we talk about this idea of, lifelong learning, right? So
Yeah.
it's continuing education. You have to become a lifelong learner. You learn every day. You learn every day. Learn something new that improves your life that you can apply into your life to make things better. Yeah. So I believe in that quote, man, because I mean, even if you look at a lot of people that you admire that are very successful, a lot of the things that they did to be successful with companies they created, they just started, they read books, they did great. So that's a path that I think anybody can follow. If you just read books, you teach yourself, you study, you ask questions, you hang out with people that are smarter than you. That's another quote by Jim Rohn as well. He says, I think it was Jim Rohn. He says, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Wow.
You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about that. You can literally predict your next 6 years, your next 6 months, your next 12 years, or your next 12 months by just looking at the people that you're spending the most time with. They influence your behavior. Talking about mindset, you, Marcel, you're a mindset coach. They
Yeah.
influence how you think. That's why for me, spending this time with you, just hanging out with you, like I remember I told you the other day,
Right.
I can feel just my mind expanding, but
Right.
just having this conversation with you and just hanging out with you because you have that, right?
Right.
That is an influence. It inspires me to take risk and try new things. Like you say, hey, man, let's do this. Let's see where it goes, right? So
Exactly.
that's really important. I think self-education is so powerful because the most important aspect of this is there's a lot of people that have gone to school, like most of us. School tells you that you finish school, you graduate, you get your diploma, you get a job, you buy a house, you get married, you get the kids, and then you retire, and then, et cetera, et cetera. But that life model has been disrupted. There's a lot of people that have those degrees that can't find work.
Exactly.
There's a lot of frustrated millennials, young leaders, young people who want jobs, can't get it.
Right.
They have the degree, they have the diploma at home.
Right.
The job is not there. What do you do? Because whatever school promised people, that model has been changed.
It's true.
That career, traditional career development strategies and models don't work anymore because employers don't offer you lifetime employment. They can fire you anytime, easy. You know what I mean? Our parents, worked for companies for 20, 30, 40 years. It was a lifetime for them, not anymore. And for you to have that competitive advantage, you got to at least educate yourself about certain things. That's where the self-education comes in to replace the things that school did not teach you and did not teach us, right? There's that gap where even today, people graduating, get the diploma, get the degree, but they're not able to build the careers that school promised them that they were able to get, right? And you see the frustration with a lot of people. So I'm not saying you can't get the degree. I'm not saying you can't get the diploma. You got to do what you got to do. But I'm saying if you want to get to the next level, yeah, self-education is very, very important.
Right. And I want to say this too, because Tawanda's speaking from a point of view where he has a degree. So we're not people, and I have a degree. So we're not people who don't have school education.
Yep.
Right. So my thing is with the school education, that should be a foundation, right? That could be your foundation. But like Tawanda was saying, and you made a great point, you have to learn every day and be a lifelong learner, right? Like the school curriculum is great, right? And it will teach you so much theory. But when you're looking for that job, it's not about the theory. It's about, are you okay connecting with someone in that company and saying, hey, Marvin, hey, Jacqueline, can I sit down with you for 15 minutes, have a conversation, pick your brain, right? So that's another skill you should develop.
Yeah.
Right?
You talk about networking, right?
Networking.
Building relationships with
building
people.
relationships with people.
Yeah.
And I think people get trapped in this mentality and mindset, like, I'm not going to make it if I don't have a master's degree, or I'm not going to get to this level if I don't have a PhD. Well, like Tawana was saying, there's people with PhDs who can't find work, right? There's people with degrees who can't find work. There's people who have no education and built these massive empires.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And that came from the self-education. That came from the hours they put in reading books, maybe had a mentor or a coach. They were studying other topics, right? You got to understand school. Like if you take a topic in school, it's just pretty much teaching you on that topic.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
not teaching you the
yeah.
theoretical. First, not teaching you the practical, teaching you the theory. It's like me saying, I'll give this example. I know you want to add something in. It's like me
Right.
saying, I take a real estate course that's 1 year long, and I'm going to be a multi-millionaire real estate agent. No, that doesn't guarantee my success because I have a real estate degree or a real estate license. It comes from your network. It comes from your skills. It comes from developing sales skills, thick skin, social skills, all those other things, right? I know you want to add a point and you
I
have
love that. I love what you just said. I think that's very, very important that it takes the soft skills to get to that next level, right? It's the networking, it's the relationships that you be, because I don't want to discourage people from getting the degree and the diploma.
oh,
You got to do that. If you want to, for sure, I encourage that. For me, I'll tell you, when I went to university, for me, the motivation was just getting excited to study that topic.
yeah,
That was the motivation. I'm just excited to study that. And so the degree can help you to think. It can help challenge you, broaden your mind, see things differently,
yeah,
engage with other folks in a sort of like a learning community, right? And build that muscle. So that's very important. But for you to get to the next level, you need that, the relationships, you need the networking, you need to educate yourself about certain things that you might not be aware of that school did not teach you and filling the gaps, right? For you to be able to get to that next level of your career. And I talk to a lot of young leaders who are in that situation where they're like frustrated with, okay, I've been stuck here for quite a while. I don't know how to get to that next level. And I say the next level is going to need you. They talk about getting out of the comfort zone, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Because your growth is outside of your comfort zone, because your comfort zone is almost like an anchor that keeps you where you are. So
wow,
if you want to expand your horizons, you have to expand your comfort zone, expand the things that you're comfortable doing.
yeah,
That maybe in the beginning you're not comfortable doing it. You're
right,
terrified to do it. You're like, oh my God, what are people going to say about me? What are people going to think about me? Hey, we're doing this YouTube video. What if people don't like it? Who cares?
yeah,
We're doing what we're doing. We love what we're doing. We're
exactly,
hanging out. We're having great conversation. That's
right,
great. That's wonderful, right? And we just do that and feel comfortable doing that, right?
right,
That to me is how people get to that next level. And a lot of the skills that you need to get there is things you have to teach yourself. It's the books that you read. It's the people you hang out with. It's the conversations that you have. It's the questions you ask from your mentors or your coaches or the people around you that can support you. I call them your team. They are your team. They can help you get to that next level. So soft skills are really important, man.
very important. And I work on those, right? And I continuously am aware of them. Okay, you can work on it. Know what some soft skills are and be intentional. Work on them, right? And if you're, like Tawanda said, might feel a bit uncomfortable because you're not used to maybe reaching out to someone saying, can I sit down for a coffee with you?
Yeah.
But that's where the growth comes from, is like stepping outside of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I do want to say for the school education thing, and like you said, it's an older, maybe archaic type of system where, our parents went to school 50 years ago, and then from the 50 years, they can get a good job or a decent paying job, which can now afford a home. And
Oh yeah.
it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
different system in a different time. So just
Yeah.
being able to adapt and understand
Adapt.
that. And if you do choose to go to school, like university, don't do it because someone's pressuring you. I'm not telling you not to listen to your parents, but sometimes parents will say, go to university, but you don't even know what you like. You don't even know what you want. And I see so many people do this. You're just like, oh, my parents told me to go to school. That's why I'm in school. That's the wrong reason to be in school, because you're paying
Yeah.
$10,000, some people $20,000 if you're international, even $30,000
Yeah.
for something you're not passionate about, for something you don't know.
Yeah.
You could take that $30,000, put it in an
Yeah.
S&P 500, and you're a millionaire in 20, 25 years.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
got to be strategic. If you are going to be going to school, you got to know why you're going, have a plan. You're interested in that topic. Don't just go to go. I see so many people just go because their parents are like, no, you're going to school. No, figure out why you're going, have a plan. They want the best for you. That's why they say go to school,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
believe in their mind that, if you go to school, you'll be successful. But it's a different time, right? With AI and technology and things going on and the economy and the market and the school system being older, it's different, right? So do your own research, think for yourself. It's very important that you think for yourself. You're an adult now at 18, 19. team. So you have to think for yourself too.
That's a great point, man. And I would add to that and say for any young people listening, any young leaders listening, any young professionals listening, any young entrepreneurs listening, get a mentor or a coach.
Yeah.
That's one piece we don't emphasize a lot.
Yep.
That's one piece that we don't emphasize a lot, especially for young people and young leaders. Get a mentor and a coach who can help you think through and strategize what you want to do and how to get to the next level. I think a lot of schools are maybe doing that now, I'm sure, like really help, especially young people get coaching, like really like actual coaching, like personal coaching, sit with a coach and actually get that other perspective or get a mentor, somebody that you respect and admire who can actually mentor you. And there's a difference between coaching and mentoring, right? And we'll talk about that later, but I think just getting a mentor who can really advise you, I think is really important, especially when you're thinking about, should I go to university or not, or should I do this program or not? I'll tell you about myself. When I finished, I just moved to Canada at that time, and there was almost like months after I graduated from a degree in psychology, right? I studied psychology. That was my first degree. I wanted to go do a master's. In fact, in the beginning, I wanted to go do an MBA. Wow. And I'd already started an application process to submit that application, right? And I spoke to a mentor and he said, Tawanda, you can go and apply. You could do this easy. That's fine. But I'm advising you that you maybe just work maybe for 2 years. Just go to work, get a job, work for 2 years, and then you know for sure what you want to do.
It's true.
I took the advice. Instead of submitting the MBA application, got a job, worked for 2 years, and guess what masters I went and I did after that?
Not the MBA.
And then started sustainable development. Wow. I did a master's in sustainable development. So from that to completely something different, because I was excited about that. After those 2 years, I got time to learn about myself, understand who I am, what I want in life, where I'm going, the things that excite me, not what everybody says I should do because that's what you should do, right? Exactly. It's really so if I didn't have that mentor to really say, hey, hold on a minute, let's just talk about this a little bit, that I could still have done that. And things could have still ended great for sure. There's nothing wrong with that. But is that what I really want?
That's right.
Is that who I am? I might do it now for sure if I want to. But I think the key is you really want to figure out who you are and really do things finding yourself is really important. Wow. And I think to get there, you need other people that have walked that journey that can give you perspective when you need it. And so I appreciated that advice at the time. And I think it helped me quite a bit.
Wow. Powerful. So mentorship is essential. It's key.
Oh, 100%.
On helping you, find yourself, figure out, maybe what your next step is. Maybe stop you from making a $50,000 investment. Sometimes you don't know what you want to do. So you just do anything. You're like, I'm just going to do this. Right? You're confused and you just make a decision. But the mentorship is key. All right. So I want to pivot. That was a great self-education versus school education. So we're going to rewind that. If you're someone that was struggling with that and, you've been on the fence, you've been thinking about going and getting a master's, you've been thinking about going to school, or this might give you a little bit of clarity and maybe message Tawanda and get a little deeper with him as well too. If you're someone that's been struggling with this or contemplating in your mind about the school education and the self-education part, Tawanda can be someone that can help you with that. All right. So we want to pivot to growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. And guys, if you don't know, now you know, I am the mindset king. I am taking that title. I don't care what anybody says. I have an unbreakable mindset. I've developed this mindset. It's something that I've been gifted. It's something that I continue to work on. It's an everyday thing for me. I am passionate about mindset. I love mindset. Everything mindset, talk to me, all right? Message me, DM me. If you just want to have a conversation about mindset, I am open to doing it because I love mindset. Mindset is the foundation of everything. And every single day I check in with my mindset. And immediately, if my mindset isn't in the right place, I switch it like that. I don't go too long in a negative state of mind. I switch it. And if something negative happens, I find a way to turn it positive. If something negative happens, I try to look at it from a different perspective, right? So the mindset, I'm telling you this from right now, the mindset will determine how far you go in this life. All those people that Tawanda mentioned earlier on the show, what kind of mindset do you think they had? All those people that were in business, all those people that failed, all those people that got knocked down, what type of mindset do you think they had? Do you think they had the mindset, this is not possible? Or do you think they had the mindset of, this is possible? Even when they didn't see anything, even when they were going for 6 years and no one liked their stuff, they still had the mindset that I'm going to make it. And that's the mindset that I try to help others develop. That's the mindset I have. And that's the mindset I like to share with others. It's a gift that I have and it's something that I like to share to the world. So we want to talk about two mindsets, and one is the growth mindset and one is the fixed mindset. So Can you tell me a little bit about maybe do you have a growth mindset, Tawana, or do you have more of a fixed mindset? And then
I have a growth mindset.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm the founder of Becoming a Willing Student.
yes,
That's a growth mindset. That's an innovation mindset. You're always
exactly.
learning, you're always growing, you're always
Right.
adapting and adjusting and continuously learning and improving and getting better. Because you're right, a fixed mindset is not going to really help you because life changes so quickly. Things are changing so quickly, especially look at the business world. It's just fixed and you're not able to look at options, opportunities in front of you. Then you're going to get stuck, you know? Could you get fixed? Could you get stuck briefly on something? For sure, it happens.
Of course.
But like you said, I don't stay there too long. If I
Yeah.
realize I'm stuck, okay, I gotta pick up the phone, call somebody. Hey man, listen, I'm stuck here. I'm trying to figure out this. Do you have a perspective you can share with me, right? I think a fixed mindset, if you actually make a decision that that's where you want to be, you don't want to move, or you are oblivious to that and you're not aware of that, you don't have the self-awareness to really see what's happening. Yeah, then it can really be dangerous because you're not progressing, right? So to be able to progress in life, you need a growth mindset. You need a growth mindset at work. You need a growth mindset in business. You need a growth mindset at home. Everywhere in life, you need that growth mindset because that's what takes you to the next level, right? And we were talking about Napoleon Hill the other
Mhm.
time. We were talking about why the mind is so powerful. You see,
Exactly.
whatever the human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve,
Right.
right? And so your mindset determines how far you go, right? And you want to work on it you want to work on it all the time. You want to improve it. You want to get better, right? And we were talking the other day, and I'm not an expert in this, but I watch basketball like most people, right? And
Right.
you look at LeBron James and the longevity that he has had in his career. A lot of that, yes, I mean he's gifted with the physical spaceman to be able to do what he does. But a lot of that is the mind, right? I'm sure that's why they have the podcast, Mind the Game.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Right? I think, yeah, but it's the mindset that, it takes a certain mindset to be able to play this long and be this good for this long, right? It may not be applicable to a lot of people, but you can learn something from that. You can learn just what it takes for you to be great in life. It's a mindset that is focused on getting better, that's focused on growing, that's focused on improving, on being the best you every day. Could you struggle along the way? For sure.
You're going to.
Me, the issue is not struggling. The issue is deciding to stay there. That's the problem. Don't stay there. If you feel stuck, it happens to all of us, right? So reach out, get help, and surround yourself with people that can challenge your mindset. Because that's really important. I had somebody say, it is your attitude, not your aptitude, that determines your altitude.
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah.
You've heard
Yeah,
that?
Jim Rohn again. That's your attitude determines your altitude. Jim Rohn again.
Yeah. Is it Jim Rohn as well?
Jim Rohn, your
Oh,
attitude
yeah,
determines
there
your
you go.
altitude. This
Right. So,
determines how far you're going to
attitude
go.
is really just the mindsets. You see, is what your mind is focused on, right? Like I
Yeah,
think when you want to simplify it, when we talk about mindset, is what is your mind focused on? Is your mind focused on growth, or is your mind focused on just that I'm just stuck here, so I'm not gonna do anything about it? I'm stuck here, but I know I can grow through this. I can get better through this. I can improve through this. I can learn lessons from this, right? Because everything we go through in life is an opportunity to learn and grow. That's how I look at it. Even failure is not failure if you're willing to learn from it.
perspective. It's all perspective. What
It's
you
all perspective, right? Because it's life giving you information so you can adapt, you can change, you can get better, right? And so if you're focused on learning and growth, I think you'll be great.
and I just want to add into that, change the way you look at things, and the way you look at things will change.
Yes,
I heard
Wayne Dyer, right?
probably Wayne Dyer, I think.
Yeah, Wayne Dyer. Hey, man, it's powerful. Man. I love this. It's people like those, like Wayne Dyer, the
Right.
Jim,
Napoleon
you
Hill.
know, all these great leaders and motivational speakers who have
Right.
come through and inspired people, changed lives.
Exactly.
And you take those bits and pieces of information that they shared, you sort of like memorize that. And
Exactly.
it's almost like a mantra in your head, right?
Exactly.
And you breathe through, it just energizes you to be
Right.
great because you're working on the mind,
Yeah.
right? You're feeding yourself,
Exactly.
and feeding your mind so that it can feed you.
And you make a good point there. You say feed your mind, right? And feed your mind. I said that twice because you feed your stomach every single day. You neglect to feed your mind. What
Yeah,
happens when you don't feed your mouth? You go
yeah,
hungry,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
If you don't eat
yeah,
for 7 days, you may not make it.
yeah,
So you should approach feeding your mind the same way you approach feeding your stomach. You need to feed your mind as well too. It's all connected. Your
yeah, yeah,
mind, your
yeah,
stomach, everything is connected. A lot of the people that we're talking about have passed away and I want to pay my
Yeah.
respects to those individuals because I am the way
Yeah.
I am because of them, not just because of them. I had a great foundation and a family that supported me, but the Jim Rohns, the the
We talked about Jim Rohn, we talked about Wayne Dyer, we
Napoleon
talked about
Hill,
Steve
Wayne,
Jobs,
Steve
Napoleon Hill.
Jobs,
All these
Napoleon
people have
Hill,
passed, you
that
know?
passed. Like these are people
Yeah.
who have changed, my mindset, have helped me develop this mindset. So the information is right in front of you. You're just not looking at it. You're looking at the latest TikTok
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
latest Instagram reel
Yeah.
that has no effect or is helping your mind or get better or like get to the next level. And then you wonder sometimes, you're like, why am I stuck? Well, look at the things that you're doing on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That can help you get unstuck, right? The person that's stuck, are you reading? Are
Yeah.
you seeking mentorship? Are you finding ways to evolve and to grow? Are you downloading these Napoleon Hills in your mind? Are you downloading these
Yeah.
Les Browns in your mind? Are you
Yeah.
downloading these Wayne Dyer books in your mind?
Yeah.
Whatever you're put in stays in. Garbage
Yeah.
in, garbage stays, right? Like you're putting garbage in, it's gonna stay. If you put
Yep.
good in, good, your output will be good.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think God knew how important mindset is.
Yeah.
Because it says in the Bible, as a man thinketh, there's a man thinketh in his heart, so he is, right? It's as you think, you become. And when you talk about mindset, you talk about the things you dwell on, right? The thoughts you emphasize in your mind, the things you focus on, the things how you interpret life and how you interpret situations and experiences and things that you go through, right? That's all part of your mindset and the decisions you make and what you decide to do. A lot of that comes from your mindset. And so you're right. I think it's really protecting the mind and feeding the mind with the right information, the right books, people around you that
Right.
can inspire you and motivate you. It's really important because I think one of the reasons people don't succeed in life, even in business, in a lot of things, it's not because they're not gifted. It's not even because they're not good enough. It's not even that they don't have the talent.
Yeah.
They do. But sometimes it's just the mindset, right?
Exactly.
That you need to work on and
Yeah.
just really deal with that and fix that. And when you do, things do change for sure.
Exactly. It's the shoulder up, what's happening up here.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
people don't succeed. And I forgot to mention the Bible. Like how you just said, that is the foundation of everything, because a
Yeah.
lot of these speakers that say all these different terms and phrases and
Yeah.
saying, you can go in the Bible, you can see it, it's in
Yeah.
there.
You know what? That's very true. Like when you study the Bible and you read that book, you realize a lot of the things we talk about, we
There.
took it from
That's
like
the
we
foundation.
changed it a little bit here and there, but you could tell that God really knew. He gave us everything. He's just like set it all up.
It's right
He said,
there.
here's what you need to be
Yeah.
successful in life, right?
Yeah.
And so you're right. I think it's really about the foundation at the end of the day is really meant, the thoughts you entertain in your mind.
Right.
That's what determine how far you go, right? The things
Exactly.
you entertain in your mind.
Right.
Like, I think that one of the most powerful things to emphasize when we talk about the mind is, and I think I want people to really understand this, is to understand, and this changed my life a long time ago. You are not your thoughts.
Wow.
You are not your thoughts. Thoughts come and go. You are the awareness of thoughts. You're the seeing of thoughts. And the problem sometimes we identify with thoughts and we get into trouble.
Yeah.
Because we start believing the thought, which is a lie, and we get stuck. Because thoughts go like, I'm not good enough. What are they going to say about me? That, I'm a loser. People don't like me. They're going to laugh at me. All these things that we say, we listen to. How many people actually wake up in the morning and say, I want to feel miserable today? Like, I just want to be miserable today. Not many people, I hope. Right? But the thoughts come. They're not yours. It's just, they do come, But when they show up, and a lot of them thoughts is because of sometimes how we grew up, the people that we grew up with, the things they say to us, the teacher that didn't like us at school,
Exactly.
or that other friend who didn't like us. And so they said all these things. And so the brain remembers. Right.
Exactly.
And so the brain remembers those thoughts, and sometimes those thoughts come.
They come
But
up.
I think for you to be able to really see a breakthrough, I think is to understand you're not your thoughts. You're the seeing of those thoughts. So you can let them do their little dance. Eventually they go away. They move. Like thoughts are like trains. That's how I look at it. If you're sitting in a station, let's say a subway station, trains are coming and going. Trains are coming and going. That's what thoughts are like to me. They're just coming and going, right? And if you don't interfere, you remain unaffected by them. And then you see that you have a much lighter experience with life. and you'll be able to handle a lot of things that you thought were difficult because God has equipped us with it. He said,
Sure.
I've given you all things, everything that we need pertaining to life, He's given us, right?
Right.
I've not given you the spirit of fear, but that of power, love, and a sound mind. Go back to
Wow.
mindset. That's
Yeah.
what the Bible says. I've not given you the spirit of fear, but I've given you the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. So to me, that's the truth. So when I see anything that comes into my mind that's fearful, that's fear-based, I know it's false. I know it's not me. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I don't dwell on it. I just let it scream and do whatever it wants to do because
Yeah.
sooner or later
It's
it
gone.
goes away and
Powerful.
other thoughts come and they go away and you just watch them and don't engage. Somebody said the best difference is not to engage, especially with your thoughts. Don't engage too much
Don't
because
engage.
just ignore them and
Yeah.
just focus on those that are really empowering, that are true, that are life-giving and life-affirming, and that are energizing and inspiring for you. So that's how I look at it. So don't take your thoughts too serious.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Powerful. I look at it the exact same way. And, I emphasize it's an everyday thing that you need to do, that you have to work on, because like Tawanda said, these random thoughts just pop in your head. So the way I deal with all these random thoughts and these negative, maybe they're dark thoughts or negative thoughts, is by reading these positive things, right? So when these other thoughts come up, I could defend it with, I am this, I am great, I am powerful, I am, I can achieve this and I can accomplish that because I've been doing all this other type of work.
Yeah.
But if you haven't been doing other type of work, when those thoughts come in, just bury you and then you're
Yeah.
miserable,
Yeah.
or, you have a limiting mindset, or, you have limiting beliefs, or, like you're just negative all day, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
you must do the work. All
Yeah.
right. We are, wrapping up the show. I mean, this was another masterclass. Someone needs to book Tawanda in your office, in your corporate office, so he can give you guys a speech, all right, on how to, just come into that workplace with the right mindset. Because believe me, if you got the right mindset, your revenue, your sales, everything's just gonna change and improve. All
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
you gotta get Tawanda booked.
Yeah, that's true, man. I love that the mindset. I think it just opens doors. Thank you for that, for those kind words. I think just it's the mindset. I think if you just work on that and get better at that every day, that's why I'm a big fan of folks like you are mindset coaches, right? Because people need that.
Yeah.
People really need help with mindset coaching. And I think to really fine tune that, because that's one of the central pieces that is important when it comes to success, living a happy life, feeling fulfilled. It really comes from your mindset. So if people could work on that, I think that's great.
That's great. If you need mindset coaching,
Yeah.
get in touch with me. I promise you, it will be the best decision that you decide to make. All right. Thank you again for tuning in. And I'm putting this out in the universe to the number one show in North America. You are tuned
Amen to that,
number one
brother.
show in North
Yes,
America.
the
You
number one show in
speaking
North America, in the world.
existed in the world, in the world,
Yes,
in the world. All right,
yes,
you are
yes,
tuned in to the number one show
yes.
in the world. I hope you guys are having as much fun as we are. My name is Marcel Hyde. You can reach me on Marcel Mindset on Instagram, or you can get a hold of me on LinkedIn, Marcel Hyde, and that's Hyde. All right, Tawanda?
Yes, man. Thank you so much. This has been great. And I'm Tawanda Chirenda and really enjoyed this. And you can reach me at becomingawillingstudent.com. That's my website. Check it out. Get in touch. If you need any help, you need a conversation, you need to talk about, your work, your team, your business. Let's do that. I love working with young leaders. I love working with young entrepreneurs to really just inspire them to get to the next level, build amazing careers, build amazing teams and great businesses. Yeah. And like, we were talking about mindset. That's one of the reasons I started becoming a willing student, is to really help people have this innovation mindset, have this growth mindset, be able to look at life as an opportunity for learning and growth, that everything we go through is an opportunity to learn and grow. And I've developed some tools to really help people get it and do it the right way. So yeah, you could check me out on LinkedIn as well. Just Google Tawanda Chirenda, search me on LinkedIn, and you'll be able to find me. But man, I love this show that we're doing. I definitely think we can be number one.
Yep.
In the world. I think to just really talk openly and authentically and vulnerably about what we have experienced, what we know, and how we're getting better as men, and encouraging other men, leaders out there, to get better with us.
There you go. All right, guys, until next time, like the video, comment, and share this video. All right. Until next time, Tawanda,
Thank you, guys.
thank
Appreciate
you.
it.